Welcome to the eBSI Export Academy's International Trade Specialist Program. 42 video courses designed to boost your global trade skills. In this course, Introduction to International Marketing, you'll discover how to adapt your product or services for overseas markets, the keys to understanding global customer behavior, and you will create the basis of your export marketing plan. Ready to go global? Let's begin. Having studied the basic concepts of exporting, we are going to introduce you to the fascinating topic of international marketing. We will study the 4Ps concept and the international marketing plan. The correct configuration of the marketing mix will be fundamental to successfully entering the target markets that we identify. International marketing has been defined as the matching of company resources to foreign customer needs in the context of achieving company goals. In layman's terms, it is the best way of using company resources to satisfy the needs of foreign customers to the greatest benefit of the company. From another viewpoint, international marketing is the process of getting a product or service from the producer to a customer in a foreign country. Marketing concepts. It may also be designated as the group of activities which, beginning with an ongoing analysis of the consumer and the market, brings us through the creation and adapting of the product or service to its final distribution and consumption, commensurate with obtaining the greatest benefit to the consumer and bringing profit to the company. Stated, international marketing is a fundamental aspect of exporting, the driving force of foreign trade. This fundamental aspect leads us to a detailed study of all aspects of foreign demand. Selecting the most favorable markets. Furthermore, international marketing deals with the resolution of difficulties encountered in the export process, such as the selection of the most favorable foreign markets and distribution channels. Having identified these markets, a strategy will be outlined for the analysis of advertising media, communication channels, and the different methods of reaching the decision-making unit. Packaging analysis. All this within the framework of a product presentation and packaging appropriate to the needs of the target market, or markets. Value for the client. A company wishing to export must gain a competitive advantage over other players in each market by creating value that can be perceived by the customer. This can be illustrated using the following diagram, where we can reach the conclusion that clients' perceived value is equal to the benefits obtained over the price paid. The benefits perceived by the customer will be a combination of the product itself, its promotion, and its distribution. Knowing this, we can improve the perceived benefits to the customer by improving the product, promotion, or the distribution methods, or by reducing the price, or using any combination of these elements. A company wishing to increase the perceived value to the client by reducing the price will in most cases have the advantage of using cheap labor, cheap raw materials, and or have an automated production system and consequently a lower unit cost to start with. The exporting company that can maximize perceived product value, effective promotion, and efficient distribution while minimize the costs and, by extension, price, will be in the optimum position of competitive advantage. From here, the exporter will be able to build its margin or maximize market share depending on the primary goal for the market concerned. Global marketing. The modern view of marketing is that it is global. However, this does not mean that the same parameters are applied to each country. Each country has its own peculiarities, and no two markets can be treated in exactly the same way. This implies that a marketing plan, successful in one country, is not guaranteed to be successful in another country without some modification. In each country, the media, methods of distribution, competition, and, of course, the customers have their own individual traits. Initially, what is needed is to understand the level of complexity of each market and also establish the level of customization to our market entry plan needed for that country. While market globalization is a reality, this in no way means that there is a universal applicable formula to access the global market. Product design, promotion, place, and distribution campaigns for a product or service must be tailored to meet each individual market's own requirements. While many people believe Coca-Cola carries out global marketing campaigns, this is not completely true. For example, the pricing policies can vary in different countries. Also, in Arab countries, the product is adapted as the taste is sweeter. The method of distribution also varies from region to region. Even the label changes in some markets, although it is always based on its distinctive red and white colors. In many countries, the name is translated into the local language. For example, in China, it means delicious happiness. An obvious question would be, examining the methods used in the marketing of Coca-Cola, what conclusions can we come to? Think globally and act locally. Examples: Coca-Cola. To maintain uniformity in other cultures, the marketing department of Coca-Cola adapted its logo for other markets by creating new foreign character typefaces and fonts. This is evident in the examples below. The marketing manager must have the skills to design global products that are universally accepted and yet are different in each market. That is to say, combining standard elements, for example, the product, with non-standard elements, for example, distribution, in each market. To be said to be participating in global marketing does not necessarily mean having a presence in 200 countries. With regard to the resources available, probably the first task of marketing is to define what markets offer the best opportunities for our product and to then prioritize those markets. Production greater than demand. To be successful in getting the product to the customer, it is becoming more apparent that a structured analytical approach to marketing is needed. In periods of high demand, it is the customer who seeks the product. In this event, all the producer needs to do is to maintain a supply of product. In this situation, the production department sets objectives and organizes its activity to achieve them. However, a situation like this is unusual, so one must continually review the design of the product, the packaging, the promotion campaigns, everything to best market your product or service. Typically, a company considering exporting will either have surplus production capacity in the home market or a specialized value-added product or service which can command a higher price abroad. To best dispose of this overcapacity, modern producers rely more on the international marketing department to dedicate its efforts to satisfying targeted foreign customers' needs, whether it be by adapting the product to the new customers' needs or discovering new uses for the product. Marketing concept. Earlier, we looked at different definitions of marketing. However, since every author of a marketing book, and, indeed, every person responsible for this function in a company, has a different definition, for our purposes, let us define it simply as follows. Marketing is the carrying out of the producer's management activity with the goal of identifying and attempting to satisfy the needs of the customer. One must distinguish clearly between sales and marketing. A sale is when a salesperson is in direct communication with a person with authority to buy, and applies the skills to sell that product. Sales versus marketing. Marketing is the development of a strategy, usually including a number of component sub-strategies that lead to a product being sold. It gets the salesperson to the customer, both geographically and at the right time, and creates the conditions conducive to the customer buying the product. The marketing strategy also includes the choice and training of a salesperson to have the skills to sell, which is in turn strengthened by the correct design of the product, the delivery of marketing materials, which are adapted for the buyer, including prices, colors, language, and so on. The salesperson also has a deep knowledge of the products, services offered, and the business culture of the target market. Selling is a tactic a salesperson will employ, whereas marketing is the entire strategy deployed to enable the sale to take place. An unforeseeable factor. An exporter may be likened to being a skillful hunter, in the sense that often he finds himself before the client without having a previously planned strategy in place and must be prepared to roll with the punches to achieve his objective. The fact one has to improvise should not be viewed as an indication of bad preparation. On the contrary, as one cannot completely eliminate improvisation as a factor, a well-organized campaign takes this into account. While the work carried out beforehand might be extensive or otherwise, a sales situation will almost always have an unforeseen component which will require on-the-spot improvisation. Summary. Of course, an exporter, having studied each and every one of the promotional strategies at his disposal, should accept that in spite of all the preparation in the world, one will never be prepared 100% for every sales situation, and flexibility and profound product knowledge will, on many occasions, be his savior. Marketing is an entire system of management activities with the objective of planning, setting prices, promoting, distributing products or services to satisfy the current or potential needs of a market.
Hi there. I really hope you're enjoying the course content. We worked hard to create a video version of our interactive course that's available on our online campus. If you're finding it of benefit, please like and subscribe. It'll help us spread the word to others who may be interested. We really appreciate your spending your time with us here. Thanks.
The marketing mix. The marketing mix, 4 Ps. Initially, when developing the components of a marketing policy, we should analyze the 4 main elements that constitute the marketing mix. It is usually referred to as marketing's 4 Ps: the product, place, price, and promotion. While some authors claim anywhere from 5 to 7 Ps, from an export marketing perspective, we will focus on 4 Ps. Marketing mix. For best results, any strategy should comprise all of these 4 elements: product, price, place, promotion. Put in few words and in a graphic form, the marketing mix can be defined as a series of cogwheels in a watch, each with a different size and number of teeth, moving synchronously with each other in order to give the exact time. As stated, each wheel has a different number of teeth, so each is unique. However, what is important is that the movement of one implies the movement of all others to one end, namely, the display of the correct time. This concept is really important in order to obtain better results in international markets. Marketing mix and distribution. It is common practice to omit proper structured analysis, which in turn means having planned everything concerning prices and product no account is taken of such an important aspect as distribution. Such a circumstance leads to unnecessary improvisation when the buyer inquires as to what delivery methods are to be used. Marketing techniques. Depending on the type of product that we plan to market, various marketing techniques are relevant. For instance, the marketing of consumer products specifically needs a certain analysis of the 4 Ps, while in the case of industrial products, analysis is made using the same techniques, but this time the 4 Ps mix will be different. Salespeople, specialization. To be successful, a salesperson engaged in selling consumer product must be endowed with certain personal characteristics and be trained in the techniques of selling, whereas product knowledge is of secondary importance. Salespeople, specialization. By contrast, to be successful selling industrial products and services, one must first have both detailed product knowledge as well as knowing the client's needs, whereas natural characteristics and training are of secondary importance. The mix will be different. Services will be analyzed in a similar fashion. However, when designing product promotion, we will concentrate more on elements such as public relations and less on advertising. Each product requires a specialization, and it is this specialization that differentiates between marketing techniques employed for either industrial products, consumer products, or services. Marketing specialization. A marketing department is easily redirected from one market to another, as also are marketing professionals. As already has been shown, the elements are exactly the same, and the only thing that really changes is the specific weight of each one in the mix. However, the division between what is considered a consumer product and what is an industrial product is not all that clear. An obvious example is a screw, which can be considered a consumer product when bought in a hardware store, yet an industrial product when purchased by a furniture manufacturing company. The marketing plan.
Okay, we're close to the end of the lesson. If we haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to add them in the comments section below.
The marketing plan. When designing a marketing plan, we analyze the different steps covered by international marketing when preparing to export: research, planning, organization, action, and control.
Further reading. Given the importance of this subject, we have compiled a series of in-depth resources for your further reference. 1. A review of the marketing mix. 4 Ps plus more. 2. Marketing plan. Workbook. A handy tool to help you get your ideas and facts straight when developing your export marketing plan. This course includes a number of additional resources, including the examples above. You will be able to access them if you sign up for the full course at the link below. You can find this link also in our description and pinned to the comments below. Discuss this unit. When you sign up for the full certificate course, you will be able to discuss this unit on the forums to clarify any queries or comments you may have.
In this unit, you learned about the key concepts of international marketing. You analyzed the purpose of international marketing. You explored the concepts of price and value to the customer. You identified the differences between global marketing and local marketing. You examined the marketing mix in the context of export marketing, and you became familiar with the key factors to include in an export marketing plan.
Thanks for participating in this online video course. The paid version of this program includes more interactive content, supplementary materials for download, forums, an online test, and certificate award. If you would like to achieve this course certificate, then follow the link in the description below or in the pinned comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like to binge all 42 course units, here's a link to do so. You'll find it also in the link below.